Okay, it's going. You excited?
Yeah. Why are you so excited?
Because it's so much fun.
What's so fun about it?
I don't know. I get some adrenaline going. Some adrenaline action.
What is the adrenaline from?
I don't know. It's just fun. Okay, shush.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome back to my channel. This is my mom, Elizabeth. Today, we're going to talk about ethereal experiences.
Yeah.
So,
oh
yeah. And here's Odin.
This is Odin.
And this is Bonnie.
Yeah.
Bonnie Blue.
She is here to help.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Mom's, some of her spiritual encounters that she's had throughout her life, because she's had several. She's always been very sensitive to the astral realms. You have! You have always been sensitive. I'm not even joking around. Okay, so.
Those are strong facts. It's just a different language.
It's facts. So, ethereal events, spiritual encounters, paranormal experiences. What else? I'm trying to think of all the different ways I could say this.
Okay.
Ghost encounters, but we don't really call them ghosts.
No, these are not any of those things. Nothing.
Okay.
We talked about this.
Okay.
I refuse to say they're ghostly.
Okay.
Because of certain ways of my own belief
There's
system.
a lot of bull crap.
I like it too. I do believe in negative and positive energy.
Yeah.
But because some of those things are very scary. But the other side is stuff done like you've lived another life. Or let's see.
So scratch the fact that I said ghosts, because I don't really resonate with that anyway, with what I know about the astral realm.
But I believe demonic stuff.
Well, there are, like you said, there are positive and negative entities, and some of them can be very negative. I talked about that in my out of body videos, where some people who experience sleep paralysis will encounter really negative beings because they're scared. So that's the thing. Okay, so anyway.
I had sleep paralysis.
See? You say that? Okay.
Matter of fact, I just the other night had some sleep paralysis.
You're getting.
You want me to be all natural?
Okay, hold on.
Pardon me.
This is very good. This is very good. Okay.
I get to talk like that because that's my daughter.
Yep, you're damn right.
There's one of my first spiritual gifts.
You're damn right. Don't you forget it. Okay.
Oh,
so, what we were talking about, your
experience. Well, strong facts, spiritual gift, because when we think about how we've talked about what it was like to be pregnant with you, that was really...
And our connection that we had.
Yeah.
We had a very strong connection.
Terribly strong. It's even now.
Mm-hmm. You're damn right.
The umbilical cord is strong. I've stretched it way out.
That thing can stretch hella good.
Hella good, that's right.
Okay.
It always comes back to me. So there's my first little spiritual thing.
Aww, that's so sweet.
Well, no, that's not the first one. That's the first and most happy one.
So
that was the first happy one.
Your biggest events really started when you were about 16?
No.
Did you have any crazy events before that?
The first time I ever had that was at Ron and Joy's house when I was 7 or 8. It was for Jennifer's birthday party. And that's what I was going to tell you. Or it was her graduation.
I don't know why.
No, it was Amy's birthday party. And they had gotten a Ouija board. So we got a Ouija board for their birthday. And they were playing with it. And that's when I don't know if it's because maybe it could have been a placebo effect, or it might really have something truly associated with those little boards, because I've never wanted you to play with them.
Yeah.
And I never even want those things in my house. But they had a seance and they were playing with the Ouija board. And hopefully they don't see this video and be like, oh my gosh, she's throwing all our dirt out. But yeah, I was 7 and they were having a teenage birthday party playing with the Ouija board. That's not the epitome of the 80s. I don't know what is. But anyhow, so I'm in there, and from there on, there was just something freaky about the house, because that house is also, built on top of an area that used to be heavily populated by the southwestern Indians. And so a lot of their bodies are still interred in the ground.
What part of this was in New Mexico?
Yeah,
what state,
the southwest.
Or what city?
And that was, let's see, the first time, that was in Bernalillo.
In Bernalillo, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a whole. But see, now we're gonna go off into a whole other thing
New
because
Mexico is one of those places that have a very spiritual energy.
people are different because
Yes.
there's a lot of Native American influence on.
There's a lot of
religious
spiritual energy
spaces,
in
yeah.
that region of the country.
Yeah, some people would call them like a. What was it when I was the New Age thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the land of enchantment.
Yeah, well, it was all that New Age junk out there and that associate that area. But anyhow,
So you're about 7 or 8.
yeah, and there was like
Ouija
things
board.
happening. Oh, and then there was that picture of Dante's Inferno. So I may just be having some real heavy childhood issues here. I don't know, but that junk was real because down in that room after they had that
Is
little
that the
seance.
7 layers of hell?
Yes.
Dante's Inferno?
So they had this picture hung in that hallway, which is also very kind of indicative of the culture out there. So it was like this painting of Dante's Inferno, and it's down in the basement, where I already believed was like, I used to like think that I was gonna go out there and find kivas and with Indians and stuff like play and all that. But anyway, back to what I was
Like
saying.
spirits?
It always felt very weird when you went down in the basement, but after that seance
So it
thing,
might have been a heavier energy in there.
oh, after the seance, it got really bad.
Yeah.
And so, the first time that situation happened was in that time, and it was just weird. And I had heard things down in the den. It wasn't a basement, it's a den. Or I had heard these weird noises, or just got weird feelings. Oh, and then one night when I was sleeping, there was like stuff moving around the room, and that's the first time Amy ever really got mad at me. But it happened after that Ouija board thing. And then the next time that happened, I had moved back in. I was 16 or 17. No, I was 17. I was staying there in that room that used to be Jennifer's, and the bed that was in there was very old as well. So it just always felt like it had that like energy from the past with it. And Jennifer, who was my foster sister, had left her husband. She brought her 2 kids there, and the kids didn't want to sleep in my room because they thought stuff was in there.
So they could feel something too.
Yeah. And then that's the first time I ever had that sleep paralysis, and that's a whole other story in itself.
Is that when you had that cleanse?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Who facilitated that cleanse, and what was it about? Why was it?
Okay, because again, it was all that New Age stuff.
Yes. So who was that?
It was she was my foster mother.
Joy, right?
Joy, yeah.
And she's a very spiritual person.
Oh, very. Yeah. She's
So-
all into what's called like body electronics and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So she's
So,
a practitioner.
She could feel something off of you, right?
Well, no, she
Or-
didn't. It wasn't she could feel anything. It's just she had started. That's when she had first started really kind of exploring, kind of like what you're doing, that kind of existence. Because she has her own stories.
Yeah.
She had the New Moon galleries, and we used to like fun with that. But anyhow, I told her that I just always felt weird, and I had talked to her about having this reoccurring dream that I had for like my whole life. And so we used to talk about reincarnation. That's where I learned a lot of these words and stuff. And it was a great explanation, but because of all the negative stuff that we felt had been associated with my life, she had this lady that
She felt that there were entities attached to you, right?
yeah, we talked about
Because
that
of
as being
your
what it was.
childhood
Mhm.
and the negative stuff you'd experienced.
Yeah.
Which can happen.
Oh yeah, because there are other words like, and I don't know if it's potato, patata, it's generational separation, but and it might even be cultural because again, what I said, the Indian influence along with the strong Catholic influence, there's a lot of superstition that would.
So the Native American mixed with the Catholic influence there.
Yeah, there's that superstition of saying like there's familiars attached to you.
Yeah.
And so that's what we
Which
kind of.
I definitely think that whatever energy a person emanates,
Mhm.
there are going to be beings in the ethereal, the unseen world, the fourth dimension that are drawn to you.
Yeah.
That's
That's a
definitely
hell of a lot more than I know about them.
that's a definite thing though. It has to be.
But
So-
I know you've got all those technical expression for it.
So
I still look at it old fashioned, like throw some holy water on it and get rid of it. Shit. There's some holy water sitting right over there if you don't believe me, right behind her.
I've used a sage stick.
Yeah. That's from the Vatican right there. That's
Yeah.
the holy water from the Vatican.
That's awesome. Okay, so Joy,
Okay,
You
yeah,
guys
so
have
I'm
been-
back on task.
you guys have been talking about recurring dream you had. We're having.
Yeah.
What was
Well,
this
it wasn't
dream?
just that. No, these were reoccurring conversations that
Well,
she
of
and I
course.
had.
But what was this recurring dream?
I used to have this dream that I was like another person, which that sounds really weird. It might be.
That's not weird at all. That can actually happen because, like, we are endless energy, and
Yep.
many of us have had multiple lifetimes here on this planet, on Earth.
Yep.
You're endless energy. You don't just die and then that's it. Okay, you have a eternal soul. So
Yes.
many people have had several lifetimes already here. So you probably remembering that.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was or not. Maybe she was seeing through another being's
You
experience.
can't destroy matter.
Right.
Or matter.
You can't destroy energy. It can't
Yeah.
be destroyed. Only transformed.
Yes, right.
So you were talking to her about that,
Yeah.
and then she was like, "Oh my God, you have it."
No, she was not that way. She
Oh.
had a lady friend that was more like that than Joy was. 'Cause
Did she tell this friend about?
Yes, she told because she ran these circles that like massage therapy was very clandestine. You'd go get massage therapy at some hippies like ranch or place they stay and smoke lots of weed. Now Joy didn't do that, but these are the kind of people like they built houses out of buses and shit like that.
Yeah.
See, like, oh wow, I can tell you some stories about that. Just going to some of the people like living out in the desert of New Mexico and having such an old influence of Apache and Navajo and different bands of Indians out there, and just going out there and really feeling that spirit vibe that you get that you could only see in movies now. Like, I think that was the coolest thing of my childhood. But anyhow, those were the kind of people
You were
she
born
hung
in
out
New
with.
Mexico, right?
Yes, I was born
So we were both born in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I was born in Santa Fe. And you were born
in Albuquerque.
in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So-
important because we were both born in a very spiritually dense place. I think that.
And I'm also bicentennial baby.
Yes, you are.
That makes me super
Yes.
special.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah,
Okay.
so she could tell this lady, we got talking, and then she kept talking to me about what they were thinking that maybe I had something attached to me,
Yeah.
And mind you, I was also like 16, so this is my memory stretching way back. So forgive me if I get some words not necessarily correct, but having things attached to me being like of negative energy, demonic possession, however anybody could understand what it means. That was our thoughts. And so this lady asked for a picture of me and some questions. And she called, like, I guess she had called, well, she said that she couldn't tell us when she was going to do the clearing, but when she did the clearing that I would know about it. And again, this placebo thing, like a placebo effect, or does this actually mean that some kind of spiritual encounter happened?
Yeah. Well,
So-
I'm about to tell you when you finish telling the story that it's not a placebo because.
Well, I
Just
know.
continue.
But what I'm saying though is for those people who might question what I'm saying, there was a moment of me saying, did this really happen
So
to me?
tell them what happened exactly.
Yeah, so like the lady said, you're not gonna know when it's gonna happen because I don't know when I'll get to it, but you'll know
it.
Yeah. And so we went to bed and didn't even think anything of it because I had also been trying to go to hypnotherapy to quit smoking at 16. Imagine that. And I just went to bed because it was just a normal day. And I remember I woke up in the middle of the night. I woke up feeling just paralyzed. And I used to sleep because it didn't have like cable like we do now, but I would leave the white noise on my TV because that actually was the only thing you could like night light the room with. And I was.
Let me check if it's still filming. Okay, it is. Sometimes it stops. I don't know.
I'm
why.
sorry.
Okay.
And
Lay
I
down,
was
Bonnie.
asleep.
Lay down.
And I remember waking up feeling like I was laying on the bed. It was very scary because when I woke up, it felt like the air was being sucked out of my ears. Like it was a very weird feeling, and it felt like it was very underwater almost. But I was still very clear what I
Did
was
you feel
doing.
a pulling motion? Like,
Well, it was just in my
sucking motion?
ears, but what I felt was a very much pressure holding me down on the bed. And I remember looking to the left where I had my little clock radio, because I had a little flippy dial things, and I looked at it and it said like 3 2:04 or something like that in the morning.
And 3 is what they call the witching hour.
Yeah.
It's like a very spiritually, like it's when the veil kind of thins.
And I didn't even know that at that time, but I know now
You had no
that's
idea.
really the witching hour.
Yeah.
So, I did that, and I was screaming in my head. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, screaming for Joy to come down because I was scared of what was happening.
And she didn't hear you because I'm guessing when you had sleep paralysis that you were in the 4th dimension.
Yeah, I guess so. That would make sense now. But as I was screaming,
basically you were out of body.
That's very scary. That might be what my ears sound like that way.
Because that's a very common symptom when you have sleep paralysis. Like you'll feel like you're getting sucked out.
Yeah.
Because you're out of body, you're not in the 3rd dimension anymore.
Which on a side note, that's exactly what it feels like to have your life strangled out of you too. That same noise is what occurs, and I just realized that that's a scary thought.
Yeah, because you're
maybe your
body.
spirit's leaving your body. That's just weird. But anyway, there you go. There's another little like woo that just gave me some creepies. But anyhow, so she didn't hear me, but it was like I was screaming and screaming for her, and the more I was like not wanting that situation to happen and screaming just as quick as it came on, it went away and I just went right back to sleep. And it was really weird, but the next morning, I went upstairs, and I don't remember what happened first. If I had told Joy, yes, I had told Joy what had happened, and then while we were talking, that lady calls her. It was like not like too soon before I finished the conversation with her, but that lady called and was like, she did a clearing. I did a clearing on Elizabeth at like 3:04 this morning. And that was,
What you just said is how you know it's not just a placebo, because that's very synchronistic. There's no way that 2 separate brains could conspire to have that kind of event, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a thing. That was definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Really cool. So that was 16?
Yeah, that was really like feeling like that, I guess. That was a pretty cool feeling, but at the same time, it was very scary. I've never really enjoyed that feeling.
Well, it's a very overwhelming experience, you know? And like, I think for most of your life, like you more so thought of it as more of a scary experience, been more so focused on like more negative beings.
I don't know, because I think it was more the way I was raised.
Yeah.
The having the other side of that component of having more of a religious indoctrination, if you will.
Religion will scare the out of you with that kind of stuff.
Especially being being raised Catholic, it was, that picture of Dante's Inferno is case in point. I think that because I passed by that every night and felt those creepy feelings, But those are the things that like that. But there's been lots of other little things, like having just the ability to recognize people that give off bad vibes.
Oh yeah.
Or being in homes that I'm just like, I know I don't want to be here.
Because you can feel the energy from people and environments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so after that experience, what was the next one that you remember? Because I remember you talking to me about, like, when we moved to Tennessee for the first time, one of the houses we lived in, there was like a being that you would always see.
Oh no, that wasn't in Tennessee. That was in. Oh, I remember what you're talking about. That was in Las Vegas.
That was like
no, you were 4.
Okay,
that was That was in 19.
Still in New Mexico. I was like 4.
It was in 1990.
And tell us about that experience.
1999.
This is after 16. Did you have any experiences in between that were
I don't
big?
really remember.
Okay.
I mean, like, those are sentinel experiences. I mean, like I said, I had.
I'm talking about like actual events.
Yeah, those are the sentinel events, or those ones that really stand clear in my mind.
Okay, so tell us about that.
Would be that. But see, I had something else that happened, but I don't have to think about it. But that one right there was interesting. So I was living in that, and it was a 2-bedroom, and you were not with me. No, yes, you were with me, because we were sleeping in that bed. I had another bedroom over here. I had a bed in it. Of course, we were co-sleepers forever. So she was sleeping with me, and it was one night. It was I don't even know what we were doing. We went to bed normal, and I woke up just like out of the blue, and felt like something was like just bad in the house, and it was
scary
like
energy.
yeah, it just made me feel bad, but at the same time, I was compelled to go look.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how to explain that because I'll tell you right now, I ain't trying to look at none of that shit right now.
And I always judge people in like scary movies when they go look. And
I was
they're
like, oh my God.
I'm like, don't go in there.
Did you know already?
Dumbass.
Yes, but I mean, I was
But you went.
compelled, yeah, when I think about it, because like it's this very scary feeling to think about. And so when I got up and I went to look, and I think too there's an element of wanting to protect. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I went out there to look, and so when you think about it, I'm coming out, and this is where that spare bedroom is. There's a bathroom, and then there's the living room. And I just remember coming out, and I looked to the right, and then I looked to the left, and I literally saw like a dark form. And I don't even know how to explain how it's not that you like see like you're all tangible and four-dimensional or whatever.
Three-dimensional.
Or are you three-dimensional? This was like in my mind's eye, I knew that it was more of a dark form with like very scary eyes.
Yeah.
But only way I could describe it in like with like my mouth or English or human is that it.
In three-dimensional terms, this is how you describe
it. Dark shadow with red eyes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
do it justice.
Yeah, it's almost like seeing something that's been erased and smudged. If you think about what's in your head, and it like made contact with me, and I was like, fuck, and I took off. I went back to the bed. I got in the bed, and I pulled the covers over my head, and just as soon as I put the I was out like a light again. You're getting the goosebumps just thinking about it because I woke up the next morning and it was like tripping, and I don't even know if it happened how long between that incident and when I ran into this young lady. But I was at an appointment, and it was like there was like two people in this lobby along with me, and I'm sitting down, and the girl that was sitting next to me, I don't even remember how she was able to identify my address or what, but she was like, "Is that where you live?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh yeah, that's funny. That's the house my grandma died in." And so then it was just like, I don't know.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, that was the weirdest part. Yeah.
Did she say how?
No, we didn't. She didn't elaborate, but we just. And she did.
That just gave me a little bit of chills.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't even remember if she elaborated, but if she did, it was so brief that it didn't. Stick out. But yeah.
Wow, that's so. And that. Did she tell you that before or after you saw this being?
After.
After. Okay.
Yeah.
Were you when she told you that? Were you like?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, like I said, when I say I don't even know how much time lapsed between that situation and running into her.
Yeah.
So it could be coincidental that her grandma happened to kick a bucket in that house, or it could actually be.
I mean, that's still kind of sketchy.
That was a negative energy, so I could almost believe that that negative energy that I felt had to have done something like that.
Could it have been masculine?
No, it was definitely a woman. There was like, and that's the other thing, like when we say like that smudgy feeling in my head, it was also something that was very evidently like female. If that makes sense.
You could feel the energy of this is obviously a female entity.
Yeah, it was like there was no doubt
Maybe
about
she was
it.
angry.
Like an old lady. That's how I remember. That was my first description.
So it might have been her grandma. Who knew what happened to her grandma?
I can only imagine the amount of angry people, intimately angry. Because that's the only way to describe like bad energy. There's an intimate anger with it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one event that we remember. Did you have any when we moved to Tennessee, like before we moved into the Victorian house? Mom has always had these crazy encounters with spirits. Like all throughout my life, I remember her having these experiences. And it might be part of why I'm so interested in like going out of body and stuff. Because I'll get to that in a second. You can hear about what a weird child I was. Anyway.
Actually, what a weird child I guess I was too, because we kind of like raised each other daggum near it.
Yeah, that's true.
They're gonna be bad. I mean, those cookies too.
We took a dinner break, but anyways, so Mom's attention span is hell on.
Jack about stay a minute.
Excuse me, okay? I thought you wanted to finish up. Okay, so
allow her to get more interviewee.
Okay, so Mom's attention span is very short. Attention span of a gnat, so we're gonna finish up. Okay, so from where we left off, before that experience happened, we lived in this house in Fort Payne.
Yeah, that was before that experience, huh? Yeah, in Fort Payne,
It was
Alabama.
in Fort Payne, Alabama, and it was a Victorian house. It was like
No, it wasn't Victorian. It was a boom house. It was like one of those, we called it a Victorian because of the way it looked. It was built in
it looked very Victorian, but it wasn't.
It was built in 1896. It was one of those Montgomery Wards or Sears and Roebuck houses.
But it was a big house. It was like 3 stories.
Yeah.
And that crap was full of spiritual activity.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened there, but
Full, right?
and I can't remember each incident.
So there was one
There's
incident
some lots of
where
bad stuff happened there.
so
It
there's
was like Amityville Horror vibe.
it really did have an Amityville horror vibe.
Yeah.
It did, and that was probably the most spiritually dense place we ever lived in.
Ooh, and if I had another description, The Shining.
Oh yeah, that kind of vibe going on. Yeah. So in that house, Mom was always experiencing stuff, but I was about 9 years old. I was in 4th grade.
You're 9.
I was like 9,
Yeah.
and I never experienced anything, and I desperately wanted to, because Mom was always like, oh my god, I'm experiencing these things in this house. And I was like, what the hell? Like, why are they leaving me out? You know, like, this is bull crap. So I'd be in my room, and I'd be like, spirits!
Listen to her making these confessions.
This is what I was saying.
Okay,
You're
this is
gonna
that
find
demonic
out,
stuff that I was talking about
You're gonna
earlier.
find out what a weird kid I was.
Yeah,
I was jealous.
She was.
I was
Like,
like,
we might as well go all the way back to the beginning when she used to have a Chucky doll and called the exorcist Reagan her daughter.
oh my god, I was a weird kid,
She
okay?
was all about that shit.
I'm more about the light now with my
I
spiritual.
see that goes to show. I taught you not to be afraid.
Yeah, I was not afraid at all of that kind of stuff. I was just, I was curious mostly. But, so I was hella jealous, and I was trying to get them spirits to come to me, because I was like, why are you just going to my mom?
Was this before or
Like,
after the
am I not
craft?
good enough? Like,
Was the craft after? It was before that, huh? We used to watch Buffy,
Oh, yeah.
the Craft.
yeah,
Oh, so Craft was before that.
Exorcist, like, all these were my childhood movies.
But even thinking about the
One minute.
cutesy movies that we watched, like The Craft and Buffy.
I don't know if you could say The Craft is a cutesy
That is a super
movie.
cutesy teeny bopper movie.
Yeah,
in my
I guess so.
opinion. Or what about
But
Idle Hands?
Idle Hands, The Craft, The Exorcist, Buffy, all that stuff was
Yeah.
like my childhood stuff. But
That's some good shit.
so in that house,
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the first experiences you had in it that I remember is hearing something saying "mommy" and like kids laughing in the house.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
This whole thing is about you telling stories.
Yeah, she's funny. I did tell stories. I like the good stories.
This is good.
This is
This is something that happened to us. How is this not
That was
good?
just a cold house too. Bathroom's cold.
That's real riveting stuff right there.
I was thinking about it.
Cold bathroom.
Well, you have to also take into consideration. I like to think about how, because an overall experience involves the fact that it was still had the old tile in it too. So it had like that old, like, yeah, it was like had a clawfoot tub, the bathtub room I was in, and then she was in the back bedroom.
Yeah.
And that bathroom was so cold. I had taken a shower, and the water was heated with a boiler down in the basement. So that took forever. And I was getting out of the bathtub, and I had a little towel on, and I was wiping the steam off the mirror, and that's when I heard something say "mommy" to me, and it sounded like a little kid, like a little girl. And so I went and I asked you what you were doing. You were way back in that bedroom in your closet. You were doing something in the closet. And I was in there and I was like, there would have been no way you could have gotten from your closet to that bathroom in the time it took me to walk out and get in there. And you didn't even know what I was talking about when I asked you, like, did you call me? And you're like, no. Yeah. So that was kind of creepy.
And I had an experience in there. Not personally, because apparently the ghost didn't like me. I don't know. But I had a friend that stayed the night, and she was like, oh my god, I can hear music downstairs.
Didn't you
like,
guys go up to the 3rd floor?
Well, yes, but this was in my bedroom. We were watching a movie.
Oh, okay.
And my friend was like, I can hear like funeral music downstairs. Do you hear that? And I was like, no, I don't hear anything. And she's like, I hear music.
No, you guys were on the 2nd floor.
I don't know where we were, but she could
we
hear
were on
music.
the 1st floor, and I remember now because that 2nd floor was where apparently that little lady and her husband lived. The gal we had bought the house, the lease purchase with, her parents lived in the second floor apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third floor, she had made it like a dollhouse looking, like, look to it, where the first floor was very era. Even had the original French pocket doors.
Mm-hmm.
And you were up there, and that's when she was Tessa, or was it Victoria?
It was Tessa.
Tessa told you that she could hear it because that was it was just above one of the rooms that I would that I used to see that blur in the corner.
Yeah.
Where I had that doll standing.
And
remember?
this was at night, and no one was awake in the house, so she could hear music. And then a few weeks later, Clarissa spent the night, and I didn't tell her about this at all. I didn't say anything. And Clarissa was like, "I hear music," and I was like, "What kind of music is it?" She's like funeral music. Like, what is that? And I was like, okay, so you like my mom, you like my friends, and you're not giving me any action. What is this? But yeah, that was the only experience I had personally.
Well, let me ask you a question. Have you had any of these sleep paralysis experiences yet?
I tell my mom all these videos I make about out-of-body experience.
No, I'm not saying out of body. I want to know about that. Have you had one of those yet?
Oh yeah, I made a whole video about it, like reading my journal and like telling them my out-of-body experiences.
Not out-of-body sleep paralysis.
Well, that's what happens when you, for me at least, because the only reasons I've had sleep paralysis is because I've actually done out-of-body meditations.
Yeah.
And I wake up with sleep paralysis.
For me, I think when I think of sleep paralysis, I think of the stuff that's not necessarily voluntary.
Well, that's because a lot of people experience it involuntarily, like you.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had it involuntarily. I've only had it because I've actually done meditations to achieve it. And then I have it.
Okay, well, I didn't know this was interchangeable.
I don't know if you remember, but one of my first out-of-body experiences freaked me out. I actually talked about this in my other video. When I first started kind of messing with it, I think I was like 19. And you were like, don't mess with that, you're inviting stuff into the house.
See?
And like, I was doing it, and I felt something in the bed with me, and something was holding my hand.
I actually remember that.
And I freaked out. I was doing out-of-body meditations, I had my sleep paralysis, and then it happened.
Because that was the house on Signal Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I started
remember.
screaming. I was screaming my head off, and Mom
came in.
Mom came barging into my room and was like, "What's going on?" Because I was screaming, and I was trying to get it off of me because something was in the bed with me.
That's weird.
And that's why I was saying I got freaked out and stopped for a while because I was like, thing.
Yeah.
But also I watched a lot of scary movies at that time, and I was like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, it could be like Zamora or some shit.
Yeah. But now I understand, like I said in my other videos, that it's not the case. Like when you go to another dimension, that kind of stuff happens, and it doesn't necessarily have to be all demonic and stuff.
I'm still of the mindset that it's not healthy, but I'm here to support her.
Did you not hear all my other out-of-body experiences? Mom doesn't even know about that.
But see, I'm here to support her.
It's a very positive experience.
I hear you.
And like, you can overcome those things. If you do experience something scary, it doesn't have to be scary. Like, like you can overcome it. You know what I'm trying to say?
And this is where the world gets to see where I get to say, I support you.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. I just don't necessarily want to engage in it.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
but I do like talking about it with her because she's all know-it-all about it. She's very informed.
Well, I really enjoy it, and now that I don't watch so many scary movies, and I understand that, like,
you feel more respectful of it.
Yes, I feel more respectful of it. I don't feel like I'm attracting all these demons and stuff like that. And if I do, I'm not afraid of it. I'm like, okay, like you have no power over me.
Well, how would you? Explain that to me.
What do you mean?
Well, tell me about all that. I mean, like, you have no what is it for you? I mean, can you differentiate negative and positive? Do you just kind of walk around and hang about with it?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I feel like also because I've done a lot of clearing out of my own baggage. Because like you were saying, because of the childhood you had and stuff, you might have had more negative energy attached to you when you would have those experiences. And like, for me, with all the scary movies and like filling my head with all this demon stuff and ghost stuff, like that's gonna give me a very scary experience.
But you were always like the warrior in all of those scenarios.
Well, that's true
too. The kid that used to have a daggone spike. And
I probably would have just had fun with it.
Daggone. Learning how to be on this karate chop. Hey-ya!
Yeah.
She was gonna be a slayer.
Yeah, if I was a vampire slayer, so it was fine.
Sure he is.
It would have been fine.
She's a slayer.
I would have just gone to the fourth dimension and just kicked its ass.
That's pretty good.
But no, I don't experience that because I don't really watch scary movies. Every now and then I'll watch scary movies because she watches scary movies. And we like to watch them together sometimes. But
I'm more about psychological scary now.
yeah.
I can't do
Well,
none of
remember
that.
we watched that movie the other day with the leg monster? That's scary. If I watch that kind of stuff all the time, I don't think I could do out of body. Because, like, whenever I watch a scary movie with her, I have to take a break from out of body experience. I can't do the meditations because I will attract that to me.
Yeah, this is
That's the thing. When you have an out of body experience, it does not have to be scary, but if you are filling your head with all this scary stuff, you will attract that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
It's so weird. I have, now it's like, it's not even a big deal to me like it used to be when I would feel like weird stuff. And I still do. I wake up in the middle of the night and it's like intermittent. It's almost like feeling like something is passing through.
Yeah.
That's the description that
That's
I would
another
have
one I want to get to after this. So back to the Victorian, or we call it the Victorian, but it's not a Victorian.
Oh, but it kind of the flow. It's just like that passing through.
Well, you were telling me about that one time. This guy who you encountered, who had passed away. I don't know how much detail I can go into this. Like when and stuff like that. It was like a motorcycle guy, and you felt like his spirit had passed through this.
Oh yeah,
house.
that was recently.
That
Yeah.
was pretty recent. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even remember what had happened. See, that's how like in non-consequential they've become. Like there's been multiple times that I woke up and the reason that she said that is because I'm a paramedic and I've dealt with people in their end of life spaces, and there's been a few people that I've just felt like there's been a lingering existence, but on this one, I just those things. When I say more of a passing through, that's where it's mostly come to for me. I don't necessarily feel like, and I guess it's also too, I've pretty much stayed away from old houses as well. I don't like, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I would ever want to live in an old house again.
Yeah, too much, it's not even that it's negative, but there's just too much energetic baggage.
Yeah.
Too many different souls have lived in there, too many different lives lived.
There's
some of
residual.
it. Yeah.
It's a residual energy.
Yeah.
So I haven't lived in something like that in a long time, so that might be part of it. But there's places that I go and I feel that way, but definitely I feel that way every once in a while. I feel just like something coming through. And there's been a few times I woke up and felt like there was stuff just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
But I don't really have those kind of things anymore, and they're really creepy.
Oh, I did a clearing for Mom because she kept experiencing something.
Oh yeah, y'all did that, didn't you? Put the stuff all over.
Well, me and my brother did because
It's been better since then.
See, it actually worked, and I was learning a lot about how to clear out like entities and energy and stuff like that. So Mom kept waking up every single night and feeling like there was something in this corner here. Hold on, come on, Bunny.
Oh, no wonder Odie was
She
having a
popped
moment.
the door open. That's so cute. Okay, so Mom kept feeling like there was something in the corner of the room, and so she was like, I think she actually came to me and Reagan, my brother, and was like, clear it out, do something with that room. So my brother got some salt, and I got a sage stick, and I did like a prayer?
Yeah.
Or maybe a chant. What's the difference?
Yeah.
But like I smudged it in every single corner of here, and I asked her spirit guide, her guardian angel, whatever you want to call it, to watch after her and send this spirit on its way.
Wasn't it something that your brother had kind of researched and?
Well, me and Reagan both research this kind of stuff, and I personally reading books about this kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So Reagan, he had the idea for the salt because I don't know the significance exactly of it, but if you put salt in a doorway and you state the purpose for that salt, like what you're trying to keep out, the salt has like the power to keep it out somehow. I don't know. It's chemistry, okay? But the point is, she hasn't had that experience since, so we banished it.
Yes, and they opened the windows and stood away.
Yeah, and I was very respectful to the spirit too. I wasn't mean to it. I wasn't like, you better get your out of here.
Yeah.
You better stop terrorizing my I was just like, listen, you can pass on, like, it's time for you to leave.
Yeah.
Like,
Settle down time.
Move
Go
on from this room.
Yeah.
And in the power of Mom's spirit guide, her guardian angel, we ask you to leave.
That's right.
You know, and Mom hasn't had that experience since then. But this is the big grand finale.
What is
I
this?
think.
Okay.
So in that house that we lived in, the old house, the Victorian house, I think there was like a mother and a child in that house. The spirits?
Yeah, I don't.
Because
I mean, there was like a whole family in there.
There was like a family.
It was,
Yeah.
and it was all very scary.
Yeah, and they were like
There was an old man and like a little kid.
Yeah,
There was other spirits in there, but that old man felt very mean.
I feel like those spirits were very angry. I really don't know why they did
That
it.
actually was the worst experience I've ever had, and that's why I wanted to move. And if you recall, shortly after, like right there at the end, when I got sick and I lost that first baby, and got real sick, and I woke up one day I had lost the baby, and they had to do a DNC, which is like an emergency evacuation of an already passed away baby, and it was like a day after. So that situation had happened where I woke up in the middle of the night there, and my clock was on the 3 o'clock hour somewhere.
You woke up at the witching hour.
Yeah, and that very evil, that was a male presence. He was very angry.
Yeah.
And there was a child in that house, but that male presence, he just, even to the day, it just really makes me feel really weird.
Yeah.
Because it was a very angry space, and he was in there in my room.
Yeah.
And I remember, and then like the next day, this was after I had the situation where I had been sick and I lost our baby. And it was that next day after he had been in there that I heard like a laughing in there, and I was in the bed, and all of a sudden I actually started like having a hemorrhage from where I had that surgical procedure done. Yeah, and I had to have Magnum Care. And so needless to say, that was after that we moved out.
Yeah.
That house actually really scared me. It did have a serious.
We had to move
presence
because
there.
of it.
Yeah, ultimately I moved from that house because of it.
When you woke up in the middle of the night, wasn't something on your chest?
Yeah, it was
That
another one of
spirit.
those sleep paralysis situations.
Yeah.
But there was other times I had woke up and just feeling that male presence in that room, the green room, where we had our bedroom. And then the child was just all over.
Yeah.
And then the other one was like, it was in that what would have, I guess, been the dining room, because it was the kitchen and the dining room where I kept my little porcelain dolls, which didn't help with the creepiness of that room, but there was something in there.
Yeah, and I wish that we could find it, but we have a picture of it somewhere.
Yeah.
I wish we could find it.
I thought I could find it, but it's not going to be on this video.
I wish we could insert it, but we have a picture
Maybe they could do another video on it.
Yeah. We have a picture of one of them ghosts in that exact room where you always knew that it was. There was like a disturbance in the air, like a smudge, as you would say, like a smudge in the air. There was definitely something in that house for sure.
Enough that I moved right out of it and violated my lease purchase.
I really don't know why they didn't bother me. Maybe it's because I wasn't scared. Maybe when someone is more scared or vulnerable, they find a crack, and that's why.
I just never felt scared necessarily.
Well, not scared, but you've always experienced that kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But I just mean like maybe because I wasn't scared and I was actually like asking them to bother me. Maybe they were just like,
I don't know.
Maybe they were just like scram.
Or maybe I desensitized you.
Yeah,
Shame on me.
be.
But yeah, that was that. I'll be honest with you. That hands down was the scariest house I've ever lived in, and I would love at this point, especially now that I have the ability. Hey, there you go for your next segment. I will find the picture, and I will do a little research on the history of that house.
I
just
remembered. I don't know if this was a real experience or not. I'm not sure. But me and Tessa, because I think Tessa wanted to have an experience too, man. Me and her both were like, where are all the ghosts? Like, we want to experience this. And we were up in those third story like apartment areas on top of the house, and we were like trying to get them to come out, and a door slammed. I will say that.
I do
It
remember
slammed.
that.
That door went.
Bam.
And we ran.
I remember that.
So I did have a little bit of an experience, but not very much. It was almost like the ghosts were just annoyed by me. Like, we don't want to deal with you. We're trying to bug your mom.
That's funny. Yeah, no, that was more than it bugged me.
Yeah.
That was a scary house.
Yeah. So I think that's about it.
Yeah, you. I will research that, and then you can. We'll do a follow-up on that.
We can do a follow-up on that house, because there's definitely some kind of
It might be worth some ghost hunting.
There's
stuff.
something going on with that house.
For sure.
Yeah.
Alright. Fine, Beanie, you like that blockhead. She say bye.
Well, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.
Bring you some more good stuff.
Yeah. And have a good week.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.